What is up, Algebra Bros? In this video I'm going to show you how to sketch an exponential function via transformations. Our exponential function is f of x equals e, and in the exponent of e we have x minus 1, and then trailing the exponential expression we have minus 3. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing we want to note is that the base e is a base that's larger than 1. So prior to any transformations, we know that it would have a y-intercept of 0, 1, and to the right of that point we'd have an end of the graph going up to positive infinity, and to the left of this point we'd have this end of the graph approaching the horizontal asymptote of the x-axis. Now in looking at the exponent we have x minus 1, and keep in mind that the operation involved in the exponent speaks to a horizontal shift, and that's the shift where we have to think opposite. So if this is x minus 1, that's going to prompt us to shift our graph horizontally right by 1 unit. So to start with that, we can take the point 0, 1 and move that to the right by 1 unit, and then just redraw the shape of the graph that we did for our first graph. And that would give us a second graph here, but it's not our final graph because we have this minus 3 that's trailing the exponential expression. So what that means for us is there's a vertical shift, and with the vertical shift we can think normal, and since it's minus 3 we're going to have to move our graph down by 3 units. So we're going to base this on the graph of graph 2, and to start things out we'll take that point 1, 1 and we'll move that down by 3 units. But something else needs to move down by 3 units as well, and that would be the horizontal asymptote. So that'll be crossing the y-axis at y equals negative 3 now instead of y equals 0. And then last but not least, we'll go ahead and redraw the shape of the graph that we did in either graph 1 or graph 2. So in other words, to the right of this point, we'll have an end of the graph going up to positive infinity, and to the left of this point, the other end of the graph will be approaching the horizontal asymptote of y equals negative 3. And this would be our final graph. Now for some of the characteristics or features, the domain, regardless of the transformations, will always be all real numbers. The range is no longer 0 to infinity, though. This graph is now entirely above the y value of negative 3. So the range is going to be negative 3 comma infinity. Negative 3 happens to be the horizontal asymptote. So we can write out its equation, y equals negative 3, and then the point 0, 1 relocated to 1, negative 2. And there we have it, a sketch of the exponential function e to the x minus 1 minus 3. As always, if you have any questions whatsoever about the content of this video, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I hope you found it exponentially transformational. Alright, take care, guys.